good morning or good day. This week I was asked, how would we initiate reading with a non-verbal child? Now, obviously, the very beginning stages are the toughest because then they can't read. So how are we going to make sure we can assess them and we can encourage them that reading is also for them? Now, I've put together a few ideas. They're not only for a non-verbal child, they are for all of us, and I hope you find them useful in the extension work that you do within the classroom. Have a look at this website, sunriseliteracy.com. You will find a heading that says Sunrise Readers Book 1 Friends 2. It's a second part of some resources there. And you need to, this picture will just pop up. Can you see that? Do you recognize that? Those are all the characters that you might find in the book. And it will help the children to use the words that we need to describe the picture. So here you can see for even high functioning children with all their senses, this is a good activity, and that's what it was designed for. But maybe when there's somebody with a learning disability, a challenge like a non-verbal, this will help them as well. So you can see the pictures, and then on the next also on that site, you have to scroll right down to the bottom of that page and you will see word lists. Here we go. It says this: Friends word list, 3x3 flashcards, 4:1. That means there are several pages and they're all listed as a different link, which at first I didn't understand. So 4:1 will be these words. 4:2 will be these words. 4:3, 4:4, and 5. And all of these you cut along that dotted line, and then you will have little cards for playing with. So in the beginning, you would have these words, this picture, you could then cut it up, so you have to make 2, and then the children will match them because we're wanting the children to become familiar with the characters. While you're playing that, you can say, what is Tatenda doing? Is he up? Is he down? Jumping. Good. What is that little yellow thing at the bottom? It's a car. Can you remember which one is car? Now, if you go with, and you take this a step further, this is what I would do with the children. Look. And I would point to the picture and say, look. I want look for this. And they would have to find the word look and cover it. Can you see anybody who is running? Where's run? And that's how I think the bingo kind of game can help a child who can't actually speak but can still be involved. And I would not only save this game for those kind of children, the whole class can play it. Then it doesn't isolate that child. But when it comes to the time when you're sitting at the desk doing individual reading, this would be the approach that I would use to try to assess if they are learning the words well or not. Obviously, some of the words cannot be pictured, and you would then have to spread the words out on the table and say to them, show me can, show me and, show me the. And I think that still can work easily. So also on the website, you will see different sizes of flashcards. So in the beginning, there are the big flashcards that you would use in the class, like I've shown you in previous videos. And then these are the small flashcards which you would maybe send home, so the parents can be going through them and the children can practice them on the bus ride home and just be become like second nature to them. So you can look at this. This includes these lovely stripped flashcards. So they're quite small, and I would print them on paper, pop them in a soapbox. Obviously in the beginning we don't give all of the words. We choose words that will help us to make sentences like we have done on previous videos. So maybe I would get Tatenda, David, look, come up, and I would ask the child to write to come up Tatenda and David, something like that. But I do have some more material from the literacy.com site which we can use for this. I think if you're specifically working with a child who is challenged, you probably have to add more pages to what they have provided, because you'll want to extend the children. So here again on the website you will find these papers. Now I couldn't find them exactly, so I went on the search and wrote read, write, cut and match, and eventually I found it that way. So if you know what you're looking for, you can just put in the search and it will come. So these are provided. So this is for the whole class. It's just again another way to reinforce everything. So we would read it together as a class. Tatenda can run fast. Obviously if you're a home mum and you just have one or two children, you give them a chance each. Then I would say to them, this is quite a good busy activity, so that when you're needing to have children at your desk or you go to their desk to listen to their reading, other children can be busy. All right, so you say, okay, I want you to copy over these lines, trace over the lines, Tatenda can run fast. And that's just strengthening their hand. When you finish that, then take out your glue stick and your scissors. You're going to cut off the bottom words. Can you see the little scissors? Cut across there. And then I want you to cut out Tatenda can run fast. And then you stick it on top of the sentence. Now, how can we use this for the child who's maybe we're trying to assess, can they read? So I would divide my strip. I would take my strip and I would cut it into 3 pieces. So I would have top, this one I would call the master, okay? The master copy. If it's at all possible, laminate it, all right? Then I would take out the writing one. They can do that at another time. That's a once-off thing. Or you can laminate it and they use whiteboard markers or a wax crayon and they go over it again. So we're left with these. Then we have to cut up all the pieces. So there's Tatenda, can, run, fast. But obviously it's still a bit in the order. So we'd want to jumble them up a little bit, make sure they're not in the order. And then you say to your student, please, it's like a dictation. Please write Tatenda can run fast. And they can take it and put it on. That is like matching. So it isn't totally testing them, but it's the audible is going in. Tatenda can run fast. Then you need to take it to the next phase. And here, you don't have the master copy. Again, shuffle them all up. Make sure they're not in the order that you want. And ask them to write Tatenda can run fast. And then they have to organize that. Now, obviously, they can check it with the main one. But what I also would do is add more cards. So there's quite a few of these pages. And you could take the words off all of them. I would just add 1 page a day, 1 page a day, 1 page a day, so that you're not overwhelming them. And then your sentences can get longer. So here, what have I got? I've got a whole lot. I might not use all of them. So I could start, come here, Jenny, and then they would get out. And I would use the opportunity to say, which come? Remember, at the very beginning of a sentence, we always use the big letter, the capital letter, because he's looking after everyone. So he's got to be big and strong. Come. So help them choose the right one. If they choose the wrong one, you explain again, right? Did I tell you about the beginning of a sentence? So they would write, come here, Jenny. What do you have to remember? Put a full stop on the end. Now the full stop we don't have as a flashcard, but you can easily make one, can't you? Just use one of the pages and put it on. At the bottom of the word list there's a couple of blanks. Just put one on. Then I would extend that. Come here, Jenny and Fluff. Come and see Rex play. Sometimes you might want more of one word. So you've got to juggle this a little bit as a teacher. You might want more and, more is, more the. So I could have written, come and see Rex jump and play here. Do you see? So then as the child becomes more competent, you're adding longer sentences and more sentences. But what you're doing is you're testing if they can read. So that's a very interesting thing. How does that relate to the other children in the class? So how would you be able to use the book to guide you? So I would be holding my book near the child so he can still see it, and then I would use the cards. And I would maybe make sure that I don't have too many extras because we're just using the simple words. So maybe this is my first page. It says Tatenda and David, and then there's a Tatenda there. So make sure you've got duplicate sets, all right? Maybe print yourself 4 sets so that you've got duplicates and he can really build up the book as he goes, all right? So you would have maybe 5 or 6 words on the desk, and I would show him the picture. Maybe I would not let him see the words here, because if he has a very often children with one sense is diminished, they have a very highly developed second sense, and it could be vision and memory. So I don't really just want him being a copycat, do I? No, so maybe I would hide it and I say, okay, can you please put Tatenda and David? That's a title. You would have explained all of that in the class like I've shown you on previous visits. Okay, now there's only one word after the title, and that is Tatenda. Can you put Tatenda again? And then I would show him the book and say, yeah, you can read. And I would even encourage them. If you think the child has speech that's developing, then you would help them with the book. Tatenda, say Tatenda and David, and it might be a garble, but it's in their head. So you know how important it is for the speech. It connects portions of our brain together. Then I would open the book, again hide the word. Here we go. I want you to put David. David. Very good. Oh, you got it right. Well done. And then I would go, look, David. I would do what the book says because that will guide me on the sentences. And then every day when you're listening to the other readers, you will be reading with him as well, or her. And I think that will help a lot. Obviously, when you've got a huge class, which some of you do, I know they go up in the 50s. I'm not sure how we can engage children fully, but that child, you could maybe use a helper. Maybe there's a volunteer mother who would come in for 10 minutes at the beginning of the day. You train her on what you want, and you will see that child will develop just like the other children, unless they've got other challenges. But I think that is a way we can help these children. I hope you found that helpful.